Yeah, so my name's Rachel. I'm a clinical animal behaviourist and I run a dog training company called Nose to Trail. And we just won Outstanding Animal Behaviourist of the Year. So that was really exciting for us.
Could you provide an overview of your career journey that also led to you becoming a clinical animal behaviourist and founder of Nose to Trail, along with a brief description and history of the business?
Yeah, so I've never had a quote unquote normal job, I don't think, much to my parents' disappointment. I've always worked with animals. So I started and I did a psychology degree. And when I was doing that, we did like animal learning and cognition. And I got a little bit obsessed with some of the stuff that animals could do and was just amazed by it and was like, that is what I want to do for a job. So I went down the route of kind of zoo animal training to begin with. Probably not the most popular these days. This was pre the popularity of things like blackfish. But I did work in the marine mammal training world. So I used to be like a dolphin trainer and a sea lion trainer. And then when I returned to the UK, there wasn't any of those knocking around really for me to train. So I moved into domestic. So I actually started work in rescue. So I spent the first kind of 10 years of my dog training life working for companies like the RSPCA and Dogs Trust. So doing a lot of rescue dog work and very heavily involved still with a lot of rescue work. It is where my kind of heart and passion lies, I think. And then daftly, in 2020, decided to leave my job in a, like a proper secure job, working for a rescue, and set up Nose to Trail. 10 days later, Boris decided we were going into lockdown. So that was maybe not the best timing, but fortunately, here we are 4 years later, and the business is going from strength to strength. So I've been very lucky. But in my time kind of working in rescue, I realized that there were a lot of kind of problem dogs, that people call them, that were finding it harder to get homes. And that was where I really decided I wanted to dig deeper into the kind of behaviour work rather than just training. And the two are different, and that's not to belittle trainers in any way, because I am also a dog trainer and I have a team of dog trainers who work for me. But the behaviour problems are more your established issues. So your separation anxiety, owner cannot leave the house, your dogs who are biting, those kind of problems where we've got to unpick, in some cases, years of development of the issue. That's the stuff I typically work on. And so I did a master's degree in animal behaviour. I then spent a lot of time shadowing and doing behaviour cases under registered clinical animal behaviourists. And then in 2021 became a registered clinical animal behaviourist myself.
What challenges have you faced, would you say, as founder and clinical animal behaviourist of Nose Trail? And maybe what advice would you give to someone who is looking to enter the pet and animal care industry?
Yeah, I mean, the pandemic was it was difficult because obviously I just set up on my own. I was fortunate in that I had clients from the dog training, like the charity work that I'd been doing, who knew me, who came to me because they were like, oh, she taught us puppy class for Dogs Trust. So they were like, oh, we'll go and see her again, which was great. But it was harder because you couldn't be out there. You couldn't go and be doing group classes because of all the rules and regulations. So we did have to adapt. And like we were talking about at the beginning, you just had to get used to remote technology, which actually from a behaviour case viewpoint is a blessing, because some of the dogs that I work with would not cope with a strange woman coming into the house for 2 hours to sit and talk to the owner about when did this begin, who have they bitten, what problems have we got. The dog wouldn't cope. It wouldn't be fair on the dog, and very stressful for the owners if they're worried about their dog's behaviour. So while some people don't necessarily, I think, see, well, how can you do behaviour work virtually? Even now, 4 years down the line, I do still do a lot of behaviour consults initially online, because we can get the basic information out there with the owners, we can get to the crux of the problem. And then when I do their second session, we'll meet up and we'll do it in person. But we've not had the difficulty of a really stressed, anxious dog in the corner whilst we're trying to do everything, which is not easy for everybody. And also in some cases, just not safe for me either, which sadly, when you are initially, I was self-employed, wasn't I? There was just me. You can't really take that risk because if you're injured, you're not doing any work. So there is a safety element of it. And I think being able to adapt and do stuff online has been really good. From a separation behaviour case viewpoint, it actually opens up more clients because I don't need to be there. If I'm there, the owner's there, the dog isn't showing the separation related to behaviour problem. So we do work virtually and we do use a lot of apps to do the training as well, and a lot of webcams and that kind of thing, which is great. Adapting and getting through COVID was hard, but I actually think it's helped the business thrive actually for where we are now. I think my advice really for people when they're first setting up is not to spread themselves too thinly across too many different things. You've probably seen this. You said you got to spend a lot of time looking at dogs online when you were doing these awards, but a lot of companies are everything or try to be everything. So they're a dog groomer, they're a dog walker, they're a dog sitter, they're a dog trainer, and you can't be an expert in everything. Nobody is. So I think my advice to people is to niche down, find what you're good at, but also what you enjoy. Because if you're going to be doing it every day for the next however many years, you actually need to enjoy it. And then focus on that. Don't be prepared to say no to things. Because I get asked, but you've got clippers. Can you not groom my dog? No, I'm not a dog groomer. I do not want to do that. That is not what I'm coming to help you with. I will train your dog to be comfortable at the groomers, but I'm not doing the grooming. So people should focus in on what they're good at and stick to it. That would be my advice.
So what would you attribute as the main reason for your business's success, would you say?
I think probably the fact that we don't oversell ourselves and don't do things that we aren't good at. So like the girls who work for me are fabulous, but they have their own specialities as well. So Mel is a puppy trainer. If someone comes to her with a behaviour case, she's going to say, no, you need to see Rach. Hannah is a vet nurse. She does a lot of our rehab cases and our dogs who struggle at the vets and the groomers. If someone comes to her with a teeny tiny puppy and is like, I just need sit down, stand, stay, she'll send them to Mel and say, actually, I'm not the right person to book in with. And it's that ability to make sure people get the right help. Because actually, I think sometimes when people first set up, there is that kind of, I'll just take whatever work I can get because I need the money coming in. But you're doing yourself a favour and you're doing that dog and that owner a favour if you get them the right help, and then they'll come back to you when you are the right person, or they'll recommend you to the people who need you. So I think by doing that, we have only ever had 5-star reviews. We haven't had, and I'm probably setting myself up for failure now, like in the 4 years, we've never had anybody complain about stuff. So it's our customer service, I think, is where we perhaps set ourselves apart, because we do go that extra mile for customers. We stay in touch with them. We've got a membership, so they're like a community and they get on and they get that support. But we are there for people with the stuff we can do. And we're not afraid to say to them, you need to go and see this person for that, which I do think really, really helps. And it's actually that word of mouth, I think, is the strongest thing for us. Social media followings are great, but actually how much work do I really get from TikTok? Not a huge amount. Though I do have a new pet trailing client who found me on TikTok, but it's rare. The majority of your work comes from those Facebook groups where someone says, I need help with this, who do you recommend? And then when you see everyone in the local community tagging your business, that's when you know you're doing something right. And it's that overwhelming kind of, this is who we go to, we'd recommend them, they help with our dog. Word of mouth is the strongest source of marketing we've got. And who do you trust? You trust the people that you go to work with, your friends, your family members. You trust what they say, don't you? More so than what somebody's social media profile says, I think.
I know it's still kind of the early days still, but since winning that award, how's that affected your business both internally and externally?
Yeah, I mean, certainly for the team, there's that boost of morale, isn't it? It's very exciting. They're all, what can we do next? How can we promote this? It was really exciting for everyone, particularly for me, because actually I wasn't in the country. And even before I got back, the award was there. So when we literally got off the plane, got home, I was like, what? I haven't ordered anything. Have you ordered anything? My other half's like, no. Why is there a box? And it was there. So that was really, really lovely to literally have it. The second we landed back in the UK was fab. But we have been lucky in that we did get some local publicity from it. So we were really lucky. Nantwich News, who are our local newspaper, they picked it up. They did an article for us on it, which was lovely, because that again helps you to reach more dog owners and is great for the business as well. So yeah, been fab to be able to do that. As
an award winner, would you recommend Business Awards UK to other businesses?
Yeah, actually, I was thinking about this the other day, and it is a different process to some of the other awards that we've been through. So I, been very lucky in that we have had quite a few awards over the last couple of years within the team, winning different things. And it's very different in that we spoke to an actual person. Because some of the awards that are out there, it's just forms that are filled in or a link to upload documents or whatever it is. But we were in the car driving up to Glasgow because I love my country music. So going up to a country music festival and speaking to an actual person on the phone and having the chance to talk about the kind of intricacies of our industry was great, because you don't get that. And sometimes you do worry. I think certainly I worry as kind of a trainer who trains in a certain way using ethical training methods, and having those boundaries of saying, that's not a case for us to take on, and not just being a yes person and agreeing to see every single dog. You do worry that people will go for vanity metrics and who will potentially benefit you as an awards group the most. So like, are you going to give it to a dog trainer on social media because they've got millions of followers so that they share it, so that it boosts your company a bit? That is a worry, because that isn't necessarily going to promote the best methods for dogs that are out there. So being able to talk to a real human and actually voice those concerns and have them listened to and understood was fabulous. And to see that although you do awards across loads of different sectors, you were aware of the kind of problems and difficulties to navigate within the pet sector, I thought was fantastic. So yeah, I absolutely do recommend entering the awards to other pet businesses as well.
What is the next big step for yourself, would you say, and Nose to Trail?
Yeah, so we have had some really exciting news around the time that we won the award. So for the last few months, we have been in negotiations with a huge pet store nearby. They've set up like a all-weather dog training area. So not like just your secure field that are popping up left, right and centre. It's purpose-built. It's all amazingly made out of recycled plastic bottles and things. It's incredible. But it's great for when it's chucking it down, which in the Northwest, it always is. So we have very delightfully been given kind of sole use of that as a dog training company. So they start on Monday, actually. We're going to be running dog training classes there, which is fab, because we've done one-to-one work and small group classes, ad hoc ones for the last 4 years. We are now finally able to offer a 6-week puppy class, which we've wanted to do, but we've not wanted to do it in the wrong area. So you may be picking up on this, that I'm a little bit of a perfectionist and I don't do things by half. Everything has to be exactly how I think it should be for the dogs. So to now have this custom built area with enough space, with the right equipment, with the right kind of people and ethics behind it is perfect. So Mel, our puppy training specialist, is over the moon because she is now finally getting to see more and more puppies and do her 6-week class. And yesterday, actually, the rosettes arrived and I'm really excited with those as well. So we've got more and more stuff coming and it's going to hopefully help us to reach more dogs. So our partnership with Happy Paws Train and Play is now official. So that is our next thing, I think, is to push that on to the next level and hopefully help more dogs in the kind of Crewe and Nantwich area.
That is fantastic to hear. Well, that is well, it sounds like you've already had like a really great year to start with, and it sounds like it's going to get even better to begin with. So congratulations a lot with all of that.
Thank you.
And if people want to find you, Rachel, if people even want to go to the new puppy class that you guys are setting up, where can they find you? And where can they find you on socials as well?
Yeah, so we're at nose2trail.co.uk. And then on socials, we're pretty much everywhere just as Nose2Trail. And it is the words, and it's trail, not tail. I think sometimes people lose this because they think, oh, we nose to tail. It's not, it's trail because my speciality is what we call pet trailing. So I teach dogs to find other missing dogs. And I do that as part of their behavioural recovery. And we also do it as lost dog search. So I should give my little boy, my 9-year-old dog, a little thumbs up as well, because he did find a real missing dog on Sunday. So we should celebrate him because he is incredible. But that's where they can find us. I'm very active on social media, as are the girls. So there'll be lots of cute dog pictures and videos. If anybody likes those on their coffee breaks, come and find us, particularly on TikTok and Instagram. We'd love to see their dogs as well. Tag us in some pictures. Brilliant. That sounds absolutely amazing. We'll make sure to link those in the description below. And again, congratulations to your son for finding another missing dog. Yeah, Rico, my little Coconi cross. He's a super dog. Bless him. Brilliant. Well, again, thank you so much for joining us today, Rachel. It's been an absolute pleasure. Fab. Thank you so much for having me.